Hello and welcome to this album with me, William Hand. Normally, it's the podcast where each episode a guest and I would deep dive an album of their choice. But this isn't an ordinary episode.
It's not an ordinary episode.
The boy is back in town. It's John Harbison again.
Hello.
Hi, John. Hi, Womble. Should I get Womble in shot quickly before she jumps off?
Come on, Womble.
Oh, John, you and that fucking dog.
I dropped her again. I fucking dropped, and it's on camera. Oh shit.
She wants me. That's it.
Oh, go on. She wants you. This is Womble. As we said earlier, so that's the second time I've dropped her today. But what's lucky about she never forgives, but she always forgets.
You're so dumb.
I'm so sorry.
So stupid,
I'm
Womble.
so sorry about that.
It's
I'm not,
all
as
right.
you can see, I've never had pets, and as demonstrated by throwing your dog across your living room.
See, it happens, honestly.
Sorry, Womble,
it's
darling.
a lot more doable than you think, John. Don't worry. So that was a nice chaotic start to the episode.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, she doesn't give a shit, Zoo. That's what
Doesn't
she
give a shit. So it's good stuff, John.
Yeah,
it's
thanks,
good gear.
mate, yeah.
What are we doing today, John?
We are talking about one of my favourite festivals of the calendar, The Great Escape.
Yes, please. So there's much to discuss. There is an extensive lineup. I'm not sure there's more guests to come, more acts to be announced, but it's a big lineup.
There probably will be a couple more acts, a couple more announcements before May, but probably not many. They've pretty much done most of it now. But yeah, it's for anyone that doesn't know.
I was going to say, yeah, 'cause I've not been there before. I've sort of gone to a fringe event there once for a couple of hours. So really, I've never been to the Great Escape, John. Talk to me like I'm stupid. What is the Great Escape?
The Great Escape is a multi-venue event dealing with only new music, like generally breaking bands. There is actually a band on the beach this year that definitely one of the older ones, but we'll get into that later on. But generally, sort of new breaking acts, and it's in Brighton. It's in
What a city!
It's in May. Yeah, oh, what a great city, beautiful place.
Is it a town?
I think it's a city. I think it's got a cathedral.
It's got a cathedral?
It's got a cathedral.
What a city!
Yes, what a city. So
I've always said it's not a city without one, John.
it's not, well, that's it. So does the government, I think. So it's in Brighton. It's great fest. It's been running since I think the mid 2000s. It all formed from Mama Group who used to run Barfly, and then they started running this multi-venue event down there, and it's just built up over the years. Now Live Nation own it, the big scary bastards, but they're doing a great job, and it's it always brings over like really breaking talent. Like for example, Geese. They played the first time they played was 2021, but that was the year that COVID struck, or the year after COVID struck, so that we had to do it online. I remember I did an online stage. I had a few bands playing. I had a friend of some friends of mine run something called the Close Encounter Club, which is they haven't been around for a while, but they do these sort of VHS filmed live sessions with a slightly sci-fi theme to it. They were great, and they were doing those over lockdown a lot. And we did a stage. We had Chubby and the Gang. We had Bleach Lab. We had was it Weird Milk? One of my bands, I think it was. Yeah, one of my bands were playing. And yeah, it was brilliant. It was really good. And Geese, I think that was their first sort of virtual trip to the Great Escape. Was there in 2021. I think they've been back since. Just to give an example of. Nice. But that's what I'm saying. The bands that you've seen recently, because you only saw Geese last week.
It feels so long ago and yet so recently at the same time, John.
But yeah, so that's why it's a great place to go to find new bands that will be the big sort of stadium fillers even in years to come. So,
and if nothing else, it's one of the great pub cities. If nothing else,
it is. You can fall out of one pub and stumble into another.
And I imagine everything gets turned into a music venue, right? Am I on the right path?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. There's a lot of alternative spaces and pubs that wouldn't normally put on music. So yeah, it's definitely it's definitely that sort of vibe. A lot of church spaces they used to have certain bands on, for better or for worse. I had a band play a couple of years ago where they have a lot of harmonies and a lot of choral. They had a lot of choral influence, but actually they also had a full drum kit and everything else. So when you put that in a church, it rattles around all over the place. So, right. But certainly, I remember seeing Bess Atwell, who was one of the acts that my producer Michael worked with years ago, who's from Brighton. She played in a church, and honestly, it was stunning. It just really perfect in there.
What do you reckon, Womble? Makes a good point, didn't she?
Yeah, she does. Cat's got a tongue.
Couldn't have put it better myself.
Absolutely. We'll get that in the overdub. Yeah. So yeah. No, it's great. It's a great festival. And definitely, if you like new music and you like pubs and you like Brighton. What's not to like, really? They've also this. I think the last 4 or 5 years they've had this stage on the beach as well, which gives it a bit more of a sort of a festival compound vibe.
How many people do you think that sort of space takes?
So I'd say there's probably a 500 cap venue on one side, and then there's probably a 200 cap venue.
Is that all it is? It's a small space on the beach then.
But then they've got big space in the middle. It may well be bigger than that. To be honest, by the time I've got down to the beach, I'm usually a few pints deep. So it might be a little bit bigger than that. Actually, thinking about it, but yeah, they've got they've got a big room and they've got a smaller room, and then they've got loads of other bits going on down there as well. So I'm not sure. We'll have to look up where. I think that's where the Kooks are playing. So it's pretty intimate. They also have some spotlight shows at Brighton Dome. I think they have some. I think they have some spotlight shows at Concord too. One of the best ones I saw there was Foals.
Tell me everything about that, please, John.
So that was probably 2019 before the world melted, maybe. I think it's 2019 or 2018. Yeah, and Foals were doing the spotlight show. Yeah, the spotlight shows are usually ticketed separately to the Great Escape, but I blagged it and managed to get in anyway, and it was brilliant. It was just Yannis just like walking out on people's shoulders across the crowd, and I think it's great that they get bands to come back and play these spotlight shows, especially to talk about the sort of the lineage of the festival and how years prior they had played in a tiny little venue to 12 people, and now they're coming back to do these special spotlight shows to the festival to show how important it is to the wider. I mean, don't get me wrong. It is a little bit of a music industry wankfest. There's loads of people with lanyard wankers everywhere, of which I am one, and just sort of going around seeing a lot of the same bands that you've probably seen in London the week before. But if you do it right, and I think actually if you don't work in music, which is you can probably enjoy it much more, because you get to go around and see bands that they're coming over from Europe, from America, from Australia. Loads of great Aussie bands this year. Loads of great European acts. I mean, going through the playlist on Spotify is just so eye-opening. You always find something really interesting. What did you find recently?
Well, a few bits. I think that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go through some of the acts on the lineup. Yeah. A lot of stuff I was familiar with, and a lot of stuff's been new to me. And that's kind of I'm quite a geek for this. Whenever I'm going to a festival, I do like looking for the lineup and going, okay, I don't know that band or that artist. Let's find out a bit more. Yeah. And basically, that's what we've done today, and that's what we're going to do today. John and I are going to pick up some choice names on the lineup and share some thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Now, we haven't really sort of briefed each other too much on what we're going to do today. You sent me a screenshot.
Keeping it loose.
One of the things we both picked up on something quite significant.
Oh, yeah.
There were 3 artists with the word cowboy.
3 cowboys. Is this town big enough for all 3 of them? That's what I want to know. So there we have Westside Cowboy.
Yes, please.
We have Cowboy. That's with 2 Y's, ladies and gents. And
Cowboy Hunters.
Cowboy Hunters.
Who are absolutely class.
They are also terrifying.
Oh, God, yeah.
I saw them. I bumped into them backstage at Left of the Dial, and I was like, you're Cowboy Hunters, aren't you? And they're like, yeah, we're Cowboy Hunters, yeah. And I was like, you do that cover of Perfect by Princess Superstar. I think that's sick. And they're like, what are you fucking talking about? We wrote that song. And I having been taking in the delights of Rotterdam, was a little bit squiffy and was like, oh, sorry, I didn't realise that. And Sinead was like, I think they're having you on, mate. And I was like, oh yeah, right. So I was in the artist bar at the end of the night, so it was. I think I was excused, but they are, but they're great. They're really good. I think actually, if all 3 of those were going to get into a fight at high noon on the morning of the Saturday morning of the Great Escape, which of course no one is awake for at high noon on the Saturday morning of the Great Escape because everyone's hanging out their arse. But I think Cowboy Hunters, as the name suggests, would probably kick the shit out of the other lot.
I can't think of a single band on this lineup that they couldn't kick the shit out of.
Cowboy Hunters, keep hunting. Go on, guys.
So it's quite interesting. I think that's a new sort of theme in the worlds of like indie music. Of like now it's cowboys, and the last couple of years it's been very dog heavy.
There was
lot
it's
of
very
bands,
dog heavy.
We've moved on from the dog era to the cowboy era.
And do you remember some years ago when we were younger men, there was the club era? Do you remember there was New Young Pony Club? There was Bombay
Two-Door
Bicycle
Cinema
Club, Two Door Cinema Club.
Yeah.
It seems to come in very strange. I used to manage a band in strange cycle. Everything's in cycles, of course. But I used to manage a band called Honey Lung, and when they came out, suddenly loads of other
Black
Black
Honey.
Honey, and then we put up we made a little poster, a little sort of funny little poster with all of the honey bands and called it Honey Fest, and you couldn't believe the amount of honey bands
Really?
you could put together.
That's so funny.
And
well, I've done that. I've made a little list here of dog bands of recent years.
oh wow,
So you got Fat Dog,
Yeah.
obviously. What a band.
what a band!
You got Madrasalik, which is actually Dirty Dog in Irish.
Well, look at
I'm
that.
counting that.
Didn't know that.
Someone called Annie Dog, who is playing
She's
this.
great. She's signed to a label Leeds who I've worked with. She's really good. She's Irish
Class. A band called Wooden Dog.
as well. Wooden
A
Dog.
band called Office Dog, which is actually a really good name. I like that.
That's good.
A band called Dog Race.
Dog Race are brilliant.
Yeah, I saw them a few weeks back.
So good. So good.
Someone supporting Sprints.
They're the sort of thing you'd think, oh, they would be scary. Actually, they're
Yeah,
not. They're
I saw her
so
at the
sweet.
merch
They're
stand
so
afterwards.
lovely.
Yeah,
They're
she's
so
sweet.
lovely. She's really good.
It's a Dog Race. A band called Grizzly Spaniel. I'm having that.
Yeah.
And a band called Dog Show as well. So
Is that all this year?
No. This I'm saying these aren't playing.
Oh right,
but these are the last couple of
the
years.
last couple of years. We are in the it's the year of the horse, but the age of the dog. It seems. But yes,
But do get in touch if there's any I've missed.
Yeah,
Do
if
let
there's
me know.
any recurring band name themes, please do let
Please
us know.
do contact the show. Enough of that. Right, let's talk about some bands then, John.
I could see this one lined up. I'm so excited to talk about it. Go on.
Go on, you take it away.
Adult DVD.
Hello.
No, I'm not talking about someone coming round with a dodgy copy of something in the back of a pub. It's a real band called Adult DVD, and they are brilliant.
Yeah, they're
I
really
love
fun.
them. They're from Leeds. There's lots of them, lots of synths, lots of pedals, lots of buttons, lots of dancing. And they've just had a fantastic week in South by Southwest. I've been keeping an eye on them. They've signed to Fat Possum Records, who are a US-based label, but they've got a really good team over here. They did Yuck back in the day. Do you remember Yuck? They also, who else have they? Honey Glaze. I think they've just done the Honey Glaze record.
The Honeys again.
There's Honeys again. Fucking Honeys again. So, and Adult DVD are, it's fantastic. I'm really pleased it's something. They've been snapped up and they're signed. I was in conversations about managing them, and as they carry on doing so well, I regret it. But no, they're brilliant. They're really, really good. It's really. It's something you can dance to, and there's a
Which I think in times of war is important, John.
I think so too.
There's
Absolutely.
only dance music in times of war.
Yeah.
So well up for a dance.
Yeah,
They're
I think much like the band we mentioned on the last episode, Fuckers. Are we saying FC UK as Fuckers again? You can dance to that. That's a lot more dancey in the
I think
dancey
that's
realm
fair,
than this.
yeah.
This is more in, and then the Itch, of course, as well. So I think they're in that sort of we addressed this over Christmas as well. The sort of recurrence of the indie sleaze sort of vibe. And I've got a band playing for me next week. It's Life Aquatic Band. So they are another band that are in that indie sleaze realm. And there's a load of bands that are doing. I don't know if they call it indie sleaze. I think they probably just call it electronic indie music. But hey, it's indie sleaze to me. So they're great. They fit into that world perfectly.
Definitely. Excited now, John. We're off to a good start here. The next band is... You aware of this next lot, John?
Yes, I am.
So this is like a band that have taken over the internet the last couple of months.
They really have, yeah.
Do you want to have a running jump at that, John? How do you pronounce this?
Angine de Poitrine.
Oh, it sounds good when you say
so
it.
they're Quebecois, aren't they? They're from
Quebec,
they're
that's
from
right.
Quebec, yes.
So how would you describe this band to the uninitiated, John?
So I would probably say polka dotted,
Polka dotted, paper mache,
polka dotted, paper mache.
finding notes that we didn't know existed on their fretboards.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're up and down the fretboards like a horse draws for sure, and they're I mean, I would say for fans of maybe King Gizzard and the Lizard
exactly,
Wizard,
yeah,
perhaps what's the other guys with the masks? I'm trying to think of the name of them now.
I'm assuming you're not in Slipknot, but
not Slipknot, no, but other
masked
bands are available. Yeah, oh God, we need a list of masked bands. Actually,
do get in touch with your listers.
I've got a great masked band called Polly from the Dirt. And I think he's a he or they, but I'm not sure. They are. I'll go for they to be safe. So they play with a mask, and it's wonderful, wonderful. There's a song called something. This is England or this might be England. Really fantastic. Saw them at Left of the Dial last year, and thought they were brilliant. Just solo artists playing with guitar and a little synth and laptop. I think they also have a bit of aura of mystery about them, bit more of a handmade mask than, and it's a lot lower budget, I think, than Antoine de Poitrin's masks. They look like they spent almost as much time making their masks as they do making their music, which is
it's paying off. They're the most visually interesting band I can remember for a long time.
Absolutely, and I think these days you've got to make something stand out, and especially in the world of throwaway visual media, having short clips where you're dressed up as a giant polka dot.
I don't
even know where I'm going to finish that sentence because I don't even know what the fuck they're doing. Yeah, one's got a big long. Just go and Google it. Don't let me embarrass myself.
Open social media. I'd be very surprised if you're listening to this and that band aren't in your algorithm.
Yeah, absolutely. They're on loads of festivals. They're on Great Escape. I think they're on Green Man. I think they're on. I'm
sure every sort of festival in that orbit.
Yeah, it was like, we want that. We want that, and it's
nice to see a band have a moment as well. Like you don't see bands capture a real sort of out of thin air.
I think if you're dressed up as a polka dot monster, it's either going to work or it's going to fail. Like, it's going to that's either going to land or it's going to burn. Do you reckon there were other? Do you reckon they went through a few different masks?
This isn't take one, is it?
Do you reckon they were like, okay, right, tonight we will try stripes. No, stripes not working. All right, okay, we'll try. But polka dots, landed. So, but it's they're great. They've got I think they've got a great UK agent. They've got Duncan who does Get Down Services.
Oh, right,
so they're going to be on every festival that Get Down Services have been on, I'm sure. And there's just a big demand for them. I'd love to see it live. I think it depends. They're not going to be for everyone. If you like sort of...
But I also think you'd be made of stone not to get something out of it.
Oh,
yeah. This is so mad.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think you'll play it in the car with your mum.
No, absolutely. But it's definitely, it's psychedelic and it's sort of got mathy. That, mathy as well, yeah. So it's definitely something that, I mean, festivals... No wonder their festivals are going to pick that up because it's just going to be perfect on a lineup.
Yeah,
especially
big talking point.
Yeah. Everyone's going to be filling up the crowd. There's going to be, it's going to be hazy. It's going to be smoky. Everyone's going to be having a nice time. And they're going to be. And I'm looking forward to seeing them in a tiny little shit box in Brighton.
Well, that's the point I'm going to raise. I think catch them is the only.
I'll be interested to see what venue they put them in because there's so many. There's so many little places that they could play, and I don't know if they'll get one show, if they'll get many shows, what the production values are going to be like for, they've got to fly all those silly things over from Canada, and they're going to have a whole team of people setting all that stuff up. But no, I'm excited to see it. It's great. It's like they're putting in some extra effort. So I'm like, and the music's great. They're dressed up like nutcases. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I'm in. You can take my money.
Up next, we have the aforementioned Cowboy Hunters.
Oh, yes.
Who talked about how hard they are. We've not really talked about how they sound sonically, and I think it's definitely, for me, stop me if I'm wrong, John, I feel it's very much like Soft Play or the Beastie Boys.
Big time.
Big Beastie Boys thing, right?
Did they do a cover of Sabotage as well, or am I thinking? No, maybe they didn't. But it felt like they could do it, and it would sound great. But no, and they, as I say, they do that cover of Perfect by Princess Superstar, and it's
really fun.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's really good. It's a little. Yeah,
that's an interesting point actually, because Fat Dog for years they were doing a cover of Perfect by the Benny Benassi song. Push Me.
Oh yeah, Push Me. Yeah.
So that's very much cut from a similar cloth.
Yeah,
these
it is
two sort of
definitely. Yeah.
songs.
But I love that though. I love that little, and it's driven everything for them because people. It really went. We got loads of radio play, and now people are going back and I think, and obviously people found. I found them certainly through that song, and then I was like, "Oh, what's the rest of their music like?" I was like, "Oh, great, also banging."
Class.
So
there's a lot of humour in it, isn't there? There's
Yeah.
a lot of my favourite song of theirs is called "Have a Pint," and it's really snarky and sarcastic, but really, really funny.
Yeah,
and we can get behind that. Can't
we
John?
certainly can. Absolutely.
Up next, a band called Chinese American Bear.
I've got no idea who this is.
That feels like a word.
That is what The Great Escape's all about.
And this podcast.
And this podcast, indeed.
But Chinese American Bear, I can't pretend to know too much about them.
Yeah.
I listened to them for the first time the other day and absolutely loved it. I'd be astounded if they're not from New York. They sound very New York.
Or Chinese.
Well, this is what I think.
Are they Chinese or are they?
I imagine one of them's Chinese, one of them's American, is what I think it is. Or
one of them's a fucking bear. We can only hope. Please,
praying to the indie gods. Please give us a live bear.
Very old school.
Yeah. But no, they're really, really great. So they sound very New York. They sound very effortless.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like they're just knocking this out the park.
Yeah.
And it's a bit disco-y in places. It's a bit Talking Headsy, but then the guitars sound like the guitars on the last couple of Strokes albums. Not like old Strokes, sounds like new Strokes. And that was a slower song on the album, which is like Velvet Underground-y. So they've got a new album coming out in May. I listened to the singles off that so far. They're all phenomenal.
Just before The Great Escape, no doubt. How convenient.
How very fitting, John. Very fitting.
Yeah.
And I listened to their album from 2024, which is called Wah.
It's called Wah. How are you spelling Wah?
Very well, thank you. W-A-H with an exclamation mark. If you can tell me a better way to spell wah, John, then I'd like to hear it. But no, it's really, really good. It's just very danceable.
Yeah.
And they're a two-piece band, I think. And I'm really excited to watch them, John.
Yeah, I think I'm finding that more and more that these two pieces is doing really well, which is quite frustrating for someone that manages a band with 8 people in it. I'm starting to worry whether I could break them off into several other smaller bands. But no, I mean, obviously, being a smaller band, it's easier to pivot. You can go and play lots of shows. There's lots of, the money goes a lot further. And I think, that's the state of the industry at the minute. Solo artists, smaller bands seem to be doing a lot better. But no, so they're great. That sounds interesting. I look forward to. I'll put them on my list.
I think we're right up your street, John. Up next is a band called Dead Dad's Club. Do you know Dead's?
The name rings a bell. I feel like I do know Dead Dad's Club, but why can't I? Tell me more.
I can fill in some blanks for you, John. It's Chili Jesson from Palmer Violets. It's his new musical project.
That's it.
Yes.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Yes. So produced by your man from Fontaine's DC, Carlos. I think it's Carlos. And obviously, Chili's been in Fontaine's DC for the last couple of years. He's one of the touring members.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did tell you this at Finsbury Park. Nice to know you're paying attention, John.
I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't paying attention very much at all at Finsbury Park. If memory serves.
It was a fun day.
And,
but no, it's a really good project. It's because basically him and his best mate have both had their dad's time when they were teenagers.
Oh.
And I think it's something they bonded over.
Yeah.
And I think they started writing songs about being in a Dead Dad's Club. And it became, this is the thing now. We've written a collection of songs
done it now.
that are all
We're
the
gonna
same
have
thing.
to call
We've
it that.
double down.
Yeah.
So I think that was the idea behind it.
Fair enough, yeah.
And it's really good. I saw them supporting Sprints the same day I saw Race Dog.
Oh, nice.
What they're called?
Dog Race.
Dog Race, sorry, yeah. And I didn't realise...
when you said Race Dog, I thought, well, that's another dog band that I haven't heard of.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Dog Race. No,
Race,
that's fine.
So that's a pleasant surprise. I didn't know they were supporting until he walked on stage. They've gone, fucking perfect. And
Great.
they're amazing. He's still such a great frontman, Chili. Yeah. And the songs are pretty varied, actually. There's some that were in mad time signatures, and there's some which are just straight down the line acoustic songs that could be a bit Oasis-y or Richard Ashcroft-y.
Yeah.
And there's stuff which is a bit more down the middle indie.
Yeah.
But it's a really good album. Came out last year. And
I look forward to giving that a go. I mean, it feels like it's a really exciting time for music again at the moment, and I think The Great Escape's the best place to sort of discover that and find that and see some of it before it all blows up. And I'll be really excited to see them, because I was such a big fan of Palmer Violets, and I thought I felt like they sort of they burnt so brightly, and then it sort of. I don't even know how it ended.
Well, that's Chili said in a podcast recently I listened to where like they made a really great first album, like a once in a sort of lifetime thing, and they made a pretty bad second album.
Well, that'll do it. That'll do it. It's the curse of the second album, which luckily I don't believe that Lime Garden are going to have. I think they're going to. So we were talking about them on the last podcast.
We're going to pivot to Lime Garden now.
We can do. Why not?
Let's do some LG.
They're playing, and I'm a big fan of theirs. I went to see Lime Garden. I first saw them on the aforementioned Close Encounter Club. They were recording over lockdown. They were recording a session, and I went down there to. I went down there to see. I went down there to see them, and they were brilliant. They were really, really good. I was so impressed by them. And they didn't have a manager at the time, and I was thinking. I thought about it. Maybe I would. Well, yeah, why not? Lovely. I thought, maybe I'll reach out to them because I think they're really, really great. And then I think it was a few days later, by the time I got to their Instagram to look for their email, there it was, Kev, their new manager. Kev is a lovely guy, and I'm really pleased for them because I think the first few tracks they released, I loved it, and then the first album, I thought it was good, but I did feel like there was more. I felt like they had more to give. I don't know why. I like this, but I think they've got more in them, and I really do think that they've got it now. I think this second album, as I said in the last podcast, I've not been this excited about a record in ages, and it's really fun. It's like you're like, oh god, I remember feeling like this when I was a kid. So I'm really looking forward to it. Look, I've already pre-ordered it, and looking forward to catching them at the Great Escape and all the other festivals that they'll be doing.
They're doing all of them, I'm sure. Because I've heard the debut album, their new single 23.
Yeah.
I just absolutely love, and I thought, right, I'm going to hold on. I don't hear any more from that new album until the album comes out. But I have been hammering 23.
Really good.
Really fun. Good. Sounds like the 1975 are like their most bombastic, it feels like. Yeah. And I mean that in a positive way. Yeah. Like, I'm a 1975 guy.
Yeah.
And they're really fun, really danceable. Again, I keep saying that word, but they're
Well, I feel like music is
it's
really
groove based, or groove based, as opposed to being big room dance music. It's quite groove based. Yeah,
I feel like music is really danceable at the minute. I think you could dance again. I didn't think we'd ever dance again, but Guilty Feet have got no rhythm. But it's great, really, really good. Lots of dancing,
lots of dancing
stuff. Yeah, right.
Up next is someone who isn't necessarily groove based, but is actually quite good. And to be fair, she's got every reason to be good. Yeah. She's got a bit of nepotism, but that's who
doesn't have a little bit of nepotism?
Baby? Yeah. So Eves Wilder. She's a young London singer-songwriter, and she's really fucking good, John.
Who's she? I know the name, but I've not actually heard her.
So she is the child of successful journalist, TV presenter Caitlin Moran.
Oh.
And the head of music journalism at The Guardian, Alexis Petitris.
Yes, oh right. Oh,
Petridis.
That is a good bit of nepotism. That is,
that's pretty handy.
That's. But
fucking what?
That's also music based. It's not like
if your dad's a builder and you become a good builder.
No, well, your
parents set you up well.
As long as the music's good, I'm okay.
And it is.
I'm okay with that.
It'd be one thing if it was shit, but it's genuinely not. So it's really sort of dreamy, loud guitars. I mean, the most obvious comparison is probably like Wolf Alice, quite sort of 90s sounding. But it was really good, John.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. No, I'll give that a go.
Dislike at your peril. Sure. I think you'll get a lot out of that.
Yeah, no, that sounds like my sort of thing. I feel like I definitely know the name, but I don't think I certainly didn't know about the background, so interested to hear some more from.
I think you'll like it. Up next, actually, is another Palmer Violet spin-off band, Gently Tender. So which one's that from Palmer Violet? It's basically the rest of them.
Oh, right.
So Chili's done his own solo stuff for the last couple of years, and this is the other three members of Palmer Violet and a few extra people, and it's good. It's not as good as Palmer Violets, but as mentioned, you don't get to be Palmer Violets twice. You don't get two of them.
So I only ever saw Palmer Violets once, and it was at... maybe I might have seen them at festival, but certainly in a venue I only saw them once, and that was in Brighton at the Green Door store, and I happened to be which is the little venue up by the station. It's like under a railway arch. It's only small. It's a iconic Brighton venue. It's quite far away from all of the other venues, but it's because it's so iconic. It holds its own,
Cool.
And I think my friend Sam Tawari was tour managing them, and I just saw that they were in town, and I was like, oh, Sam, any chance you can put me on the guest list? And he put me and I think Mitch, maybe one of my friend Louis' brothers, Mitch, and we went down and watched them, and I bought a T-shirt, which I still can just about squeeze into, but I think it may be promoted rather to Sinead wearing it in bed. T-shirt, but I would wear it with pride if it still fitted me. But
they're a band I saw a lot, man. I've seen that band about 10, 12 times.
Oh yeah.
And also I have this weird thing of bumping into that band a lot as well. They've seen me out in the wild.
Have they? And
they
know.
This fucking
to be
dickhead
fair,
again.
Bill, you're quite. I've always said this. If you get lost at a festival, it's like being friends with Peter Crouch. Like you just got to find. Like,
I can't get a moment's peace, John.
You just see. I remember getting lost at Reading, and we must have been early 20s maybe. Late teens, early 20s, and I lost everyone, and then suddenly, almost like a Disney sing-along head bouncing above the crowd was I just see your ginger bonce.
I was trying to lose you, John. Leave me alone. Fuck.
And then luckily I managed to fight. Bill, where you been? Oh. And then that was that. I found you again, and here we are. All these years later.
You found me. No, class. Up next, do you know much about Girl Group?
Yes.
Tell me about Girl Group.
Girl Group are signed to one of the majors. It's sort of it's a little subsidiary within a major run by one of the A&Rs. They've sort of been put together, but it is really fun. It's really good. There's a lot of choreography going on. So it's kind of like classic pop sensibilities, but through a bit of an indie focus. So I mean, I'm interested to see. I've never seen them. I'm intrigued. That's all I'm going to say.
No, fair enough. I've heard a bit of buzz about them. I listened to the songs maybe once through.
There's definitely
but not
buzz,
enough
but there's a lot of power behind them. There's a lot of big money behind them. So I'm intrigued to see what if they can live up to the hype, basically. So
let's find out at The Great Escape in May 2026.
Yeah, absolutely.
Up next, we have Julia Cumming from the fantastic New York three-piece Sunflower Bean.
Yes.
And her recent foray into a solo career.
Did you ask Helen about her last week by any chance? Because they're friends, you know.
Yeah, it come up in the podcast.
Good. Oh, well, obviously I didn't listen, so that's not good, is it? I need to go back and listen. That's rude, isn't it?
You're here now, John.
I'm here now. That's it.
But yeah, so she'll be getting on the podcast, actually. I spoke to some management about it. So
brilliant. That'd be great.
But she's amazing. I was a really early adopter to Sunflower Bean, and I've just followed their career for over a decade now.
I remember you being into them. I remember you telling me about them.
Yeah.
You told me about them.
I'm not getting it right sometimes, didn't I? So, yeah, really great to see her stepping out. Because I think it is a funny space for them now. Like, I don't really know what their next move as a band would be.
Yeah.
So it's good for them to sort of do this solo thing. And she's got some real... it's got a real good team behind her. So she's had... Who directed her new music video? It was the guy that done Shaun of the Dead. Edgar Wright. She had Edgar Wright make her new music video, My Life, and she's done a great performance of it on Jimmy Fallon as well. So I don't think like Sunflower Bean would have been like a Jimmy Fallon performance.
Yeah,
thing,
sure.
I think she's got a real bit of star quality about her, Julia. So as a solo project, maybe that works better. But either way, it's really cool.
Yeah.
And I look forward to hearing her songs and sing her live. I think her album came out yesterday.
She's always been amazingly talented, and I'm excited to see. I think I saw her at the Moth Club. I saw Sunflower Bean at the Moth Club. Had a chat with her afterwards. She was really, really nice. So I look forward to that. Comes from her.
Up next, Keo.
Everyone keeps talking about Keo.
People keep talking about Keo, John. So I was put on to him quite early on, actually. One of my first episodes of the podcast was with an influencer called Will Gamble.
Yeah,
if you know Will. And he just said that he'd been at a Great Escape preview thing in London.
Yeah.
And saw a band called Keo.
Yeah.
And so it was so exciting.
Was that last year?
Last year.
Yeah.
And he was right, you know, they're delivering on the goods.
So I was actually I was told about them from their agent. So I was booking a Great Escape warm-up show, or maybe it was just before the Great Escape. It wasn't a proper official warm-up show. I was booking something at Notting Hill Arts Club, and their agent sent me over a list of bands, and Keo was one of them, and they were my first pick. I was like, I want them. They're great. I just got the demo. I don't think anything had been released then. I was like, that sounds really cool. I think it would work really well in with the other bands that I was booking. They couldn't do it. And I was like, oh man, that would have. And then I had a bunch of managers messaging me after, because I went and followed them, and it was quite early on. And then I had a bunch of managers messaging me like, who the hell? Who's this Keo? I see you're following this Keo. Like, how do you know what's going on? I was like, look, I don't really know what's going on, but I know it's going to be big. Like, all the right people are working with it. So, and the music's great. So I'm excited. They just went on tour with Bleach 93, who are on. They're on ATC management. They're doing really, really well. I think they did some show. Maybe they just did some shows together.
But they did.
Yeah, that was it. So they're definitely worth both of those looking at together. It's good, solid indie rock. Is what it is. Yeah. For want of a better word. For want of a journalism degree. I think it feels a bit more emotional
than like most. When you say indie rock, I think you look back a band like the Killers or whatever. Like, yeah. Or like the Strokes. I think this feels a bit more emotional, a bit more depth to it. Like,
yeah, there's a band called Tooth, I think, that would fit into that space quite well as well. Yeah, it's sort of got a bit of an emo twinge, but yeah,
but really good. The guy's got a hell of a voice on him as well, man. Yeah. He sounds so much like your man from the Stereophonics. Mm-hmm. And their song "I Lied Amber" is pretty phenomenal. So looking forward to seeing them. Slag. Brilliant band. Brighton band. I saw them Left the Dial again. Adam who books The Great Escape took me to see them because he said, you're going to like this. And I took him to that festival. I'll tell you about that festival a bit later on. We were in Rotterdam. We were wandering around, having lots of little pints and little glasses, and just taking in the sights, shall we say. And he was like, you've got to come and see Slag. They're great. I booked them for The Great Escape already, so this before it was announced. So we went to go see them, and the songwriter. I mean, there was about 5 people in the room when we first got there. It did fill out towards the end, but it wasn't. They do loads of shows at that festival. It's not like it is like The Great Escape, but they do a show every day basically. Sure. So not all of them are going to be good. And this one they were brilliant. Their songwriting, I was blown away by their songwriting. The quality of the songwriting was incredible. I've been meaning to see them again. I haven't yet, and looking forward to seeing them in May. Have you managed to catch them yet? No, not yet. They got announced for Truck Festival, and that was when I first heard of them. Going for the lineup, doing that giggy thing I mentioned of Slag. Don't know who they are. Interesting band name. Let's go and find out.
Absolutely.
And it was great. I thought they were quite mathy. And then I heard they've done a new EP the other week, and it's like that's completely different. So they're already being quite hard to pin down.
Yeah.
They could almost be like, some of their songs could almost be like disco songs, were it not for the big, loud, distorted guitars.
Yeah.
There's like a disco rhythm to it. So I'm really keen to see what they'd come up with, really, because they're a very interesting young band.
Absolutely.
Yes. The Itch.
You know, I've been scratching that itch for a long time. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I mention it on every podcast I have been. I've known Simon and Georgia for a long time, so but they're great. Pre-ordered the album, as I said earlier. They're gonna just smash it at The Great Escape. They're gonna absolutely smash it. It's so danceable, and it's just really good quality music, and I'm looking forward to seeing what more they do. And they're from Luton.
Are they?
When was the last time you saw a band from Luton?
I don't think I've ever seen a band
there
from
Luton.
There you
go.
It's about bloody time
it's
Luton
about
delivered.
Bloody come on, Luton, sort it out.
Come on, Luton.
And what's nice, do you know what? There's actually a few other things going on up in Luton. There's a place called the Castle, which is a little pub, and it's just a small venue, and it's become part of the touring circuit because they support it. They go and do shows there. They pack it out, and then. There's a guy called Connor who's a pal of mine who helps book it, and that's all it takes is just someone working in a small venue in a small town to start speaking to agents and adding that little.
The thing is, for me, John, I can get to Luton quicker than I can get to Ali Pali.
Yeah, well, there
Genuinely,
you go.
That's the truth of it. Like, honestly, from Cricklewood, train goes straight up there in like about 4 stops. Yeah. Or I can drive there in half an hour.
Shall we go and see the Itch?
Well, keep an eye on Luton gigs. It's very reachable.
It's very reachable, and it's the Castle's a great little spot, and it's great to see that there are bands coming from. To be fair to them, they moved out of Luton and they lived in London for a long time, and then they've moved back to Luton.
Sure.
And I think there's a few other people that have done the same, and they're building.
Are we going to start gentrifying Luton? They said it would never happen, John. They said it couldn't be done.
Fucking could do with a bit of gentrification.
To be honest, you're welcome, Luton. You're welcome. Up next, we have the Ori Oriel.
Oh yeah, they've been around for a while
They've been
now,
there for
haven't
a
they?
while,
They're
haven't they?
great.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think. I definitely saw them. It would have been definitely before lockdown at the Scala. Mm-hmm. And they're fun, man.
They're great.
But I will say this, their new album called Only You Left came out a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty different, John.
Yeah.
The other
Oh,
stuff.
is it?
I would say...
'Cause they did a film recently as well,
they?
didn't they? Yeah, they
I
did a
remember this.
film a couple of years, maybe 2 years ago. They did a film with accompanied their album.
Any good?
I've not seen it, but people were telling me that
it exists.
That it exists, and I was thinking, oh, are they going to go into filmmaking now? So they actually, the second band I ever managed, I think I mentioned them earlier, called Honey Lung. They played on. So I remember Conrad, who books Dot to Dot Festival. He put them on a lineup. It was Oriel's, Fur, who went on to do amazing things. They're huge in Indonesia.
Wow.
Bonkers. Like millions, like they headline festivals and like stadiums in Indonesia. Bonkers. And then my little band, Honey Lung, who didn't do anything. But the Oriels have been, I mean, that was over 10 years ago. And that was one of their early, that was at the Finsbury. That was one of their really early London shows. But they've been, I mean, they're a great band. They've built up, they've done a few albums now. It's, they're a welcome on any bill, I would say.
There you go. I'll get behind that. Up next with the aforementioned Toast Club.
Oh, now we're talking.
So I listened to them a couple of hours ago, not realising quite how closely you worked with them. I was blown away. They sound so fucking good, John.
They're so much fun, and they're playing for me next weekend. They just sold out the George Tavern this week, so there's a real buzz about them. When I spotted them, they were on like 3,000 followers on Instagram. Not that means anything. And now they're up to 12,000, which is quite a jump, and that was only a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I think they're moving in the right direction. They got loads of streams on Instagram, and as mentioned, not Instagram on Spotify, and as mentioned previously, it is Tommy of Tommy and Piri, for Piri and Tommy fame. Piri's gone off to do her own thing, right? You were chatting to her about that the other day on the pod, and Tommy's doing this, and it's very yacht rock. It's very sort of 80s.
I thought it was very Steely Dan.
Very Steely Dan, yeah.
The guitars sound amazing on it.
It's really fun, and I think so. I'm really looking forward to seeing
most instrumental as well, right?
Yeah, there's just a little bit of sort of
the most played song, Something to Ibiza, I think it was called. That one had some lyrics, and the rest of it was all instrumental and was like, I don't know, like jam outs almost.
Yeah.
But man, boy can play.
It's fun. Yeah, so it's really fun.
I can't say how much blow my mind. That's Piri and Tommy.
I'm glad that you've got that on video of me dropping that to you because you genuinely did look shooketh.
I was shooketh.
So they're playing for me next Saturday, but they're also playing The Great Escape. Notting Hill Arts Club next Saturday. Come on down. But yeah, they'll do really well at the Great Escape.
Yeah,
so they're on the lineup. Are they on the?
They're on the lineup, man.
Great, brilliant.
At least I think they are. Have I got that right?
I think so.
Either way. Great band. Forgive us if we're wrong on that one. And then we have Trampoline, who have been at it for years.
Yes,
man.
I saw them probably with you at the Crown and Treaty in Uxbridge.
I know this.
Stephen booked them. Yeah, they played the Crown and Treaty. Yeah,
Wow, I didn't know.
So it wasn't with you then. Yeah, so they played. Were they always called Trampoline? I think they were, yeah. I think so. Stephen booked them at the Crown and Treaty. They're Welsh, I believe. Very Welsh.
As most Welsh people are. They're very
absolutely.
Welsh.
Yeah. You're never halfway in or halfway out. They're full on Welsh, absolutely. And he's a.
Can we just take a shout moment as well?
Yeah.
Shout out to the Welsh.
Shout out to the Welsh. Big up
class,
the Welsh. We love the Welsh. Absolutely. Men of Harlech, stand ye steady.
But no, he's great. Jack's a really, really interesting and funny guy. In fact, he's another guy I bumped into an awful lot.
Oh, really?
The last sort of 12 months or so. And everyone says to me, "Oh, boyo, how you doing? I want to do the podcast, brother."
Oh, yeah, you just get him on,
and then ghosting me. Like, said, "Yeah, I can't wait, man. I was stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
I don't want to dox him too much. Let's just say southwest London.
Yeah.
And I was stuck in complete standstill traffic.
Yeah.
Jack, hey, it's William from the... right, boy. And I wasn't going anywhere in a hurry.
You got time to catch up. Yeah.
But they're great. They've got like, I think they've probably out 3 or 4 albums now.
Yeah.
And the best song is like a runaway song called Alcohol Kiss. It's like much better than the rest of their stuff.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
He had a solo album, it would have been last year, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. That's his best work.
And he does a lot of work with the Libertines, right?
Very much so. Well, Peter, anyways, in Peter's touring band for a very long time.
Oh, is he? Yeah. Right,
so, Jack's, they're a hard-working band.
Yeah,
Jack
for
in
sure.
particular, like, they are touring the arse out of it and have done for years. So, They're well oiled.
I mean, and they made it as far as Uxbridge, which is where I first.
Not many bands can say that, John. The Best and Bees and Trampoline. But no, really excited to see them. They're great.
Yeah.
We like Jack
that's
and
cool.
the band. And then we have a band of interest, I think, John.
Oh yes,
We have Villanelle.
Villanelle.
And again, it's a Nepo band. It's Liam Gallagher's boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. I was thinking.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure I know that name. Oh
That's
yeah.
why you know it. So
Yeah.
they've released a new single called Placebo a couple of weeks back.
Uh-huh.
And I really like it.
Oh, you're a
It's-
sucker for it.
I'm a sucker for it. It's a more polished Nirvana. There's definitely a big Nirvana influence in
Okay.
it. Calling it
That'll upset his dad.
glamorous grunge. is what I'm
Glamorous
going
grunge.
for. Yeah, because he can't pretend he's fucking Kurt Cobain, can he? He can't
No,
pretend
you
he's
can't
like,
really. No.
You know, he's had a very different life to anyone on planet Earth already. So for him to pretend he's some sort of like suffering artist, he can't do that. So it's
No.
quite glamorous and cool. And I think that's what Liam Gallagher's son should be doing.
Yeah,
he
why
can't
not?
pretend to be anything else rather than someone that's got a very glamorous, cool lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So big guitars and yeah, I think they're fun.
At least he's giving it a go.
He's giving it a go, isn't he? He's giving it a go.
Oh,
So,
I
yeah.
can see what's next. We've mentioned them before. We'll mention them again.
Well, this is not the last band, really, unless there's anything we've not covered.
Well,
but-
I've got a couple of bits, I think, somewhere. But
Okay, fair enough then.
But-
So we're going to end on the best new band on the planet.
Yeah.
A band that I was lucky enough to watch just a couple of days ago in Hammersmith. It's West Side Cowboy.
West Side Cowboy.
West Side Cowboy, one of the 3 cowboys on the lineup. And I can't believe how good this band are. That recent EP of theirs, Don't Throw Rocks, is just out of this world. So the most perfect guitar music in years. And they're so fucking great. And the bass player, her singing is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The band play a million miles an hour, which is exactly how music should be played, I think.
Yeah.
And it makes you want to jump up and down and be 19 again, John.
That's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. I want to chuck in a couple of mentions.
Please,
Right.
John.
So I want to mention so in the rockier spectrum. I'm just going to throw the bands out
Rectrum.
there. The plectrum, indeed. So rectrum. I missed you. But anyway, so I'm just going to throw them out there. I'm not going to go too much into them because I've said they're rocky, but I just think they're definitely worth adding to your list if you are going to the Great Escape. Ugly Ozo. They played for me. Fantastic.
Ugly Ozo, great name.
Great girl band. They were brilliant. They're going from strength to strength. But again, very much in that grunge space. A band called The North. I think I briefly mentioned it before.
Yeah.
It fits into the sort of 1975 world, but personally, it's more accessible for me. 1975. I can take or leave, to be honest.
Sure.
I'm not.
I know they're not for everyone. Don't worry about
they're not
that.
for me. Whereas the North, I really did. They played for me a few years ago, and they just he was like throwing himself off the. I thought he was going to throw himself off the stage. He was just throwing himself like up against the microphone. There was so much energy to it.
Right.
They're signed to Communion. They're doing really well. That's going great. So I think they're definitely worth a watch. Again, Ain't, female-fronted grunge band, really, really good. Again, these are all the grungy ones. And then a band called Tooth, more of a sort of a Midwestern. They've got a sort of
the Midwest emo thing.
Midwest emo thing,
See,
but
it's funny this, right?
with a British accent.
Okay. Because I get a lot of Midwest emo stuff on my TikTok algorithm for some reason.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
And I really like it.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you one single band from that genre. There's something, I don't know why the algorithm thinks I like it, but I'll tell you what, John, they're fucking right.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of that coming through as well. So yeah, they're one of those. And a couple of bits I wanted to talk, and then Way Dynamic are a band from Australia, and I think he did one of my favourite albums of last year.
Right.
I can't actually remember the name of it now because it was just one of those things I whacked on Spotify. I think he's brilliant. They're also
love an Australian band, don't you?
I do. I think they're just churning out so much great music at the moment. So yeah, Way Dynamic are up there for me. A band called Toothpaste just signed to Dirty.
Good name.
Good name. Just signed to Dirty Hit, who you'll remember from the 1975 label,
right.
via Memorials of Distinction, which is I think it's either a joint venture or something like that. So Memorials of Distinction were the label that did Porridge Radio.
Where are Toothpaste from? Are they a British band then? Sorry.
They're British. They're from I think they're based in London now. I don't know if they're from Manchester originally.
But if they're on
hard
dirty
to
hair,
say.
they'll be getting some money thrown at them. So they'll be, I'd say, tough to ignore.
Yeah.
Over the next 12 months.
Yeah.
Throw money at them.
Yeah. Well, that's it. So they're doing really well. On Thursday night, they just played one of the warm-up shows for The Great Escape, and it went really well.
You was at that, right?
I didn't make it in the end. I didn't make it. I had planned to, but I had a load of funding applications to do for my band.
Boring.
No, really, in fact, really dull. There's only so much.
Glad I brought this up, John. Anyway, next band.
There's only so much work ChatGPT can do. And then Maximilian.
You mentioned this earlier.
Yeah,
the
I mentioned this drummer of Big Long Sun.
That was it.
But an artist in his own right, and he is absolutely fantastic. Really delicate, beautiful music. And then I think everything else we pretty much mentioned, but they were my last mentions. It's going to be a great year this year, The Great Escape.
Yeah.
I think music has been it's been in more of an exciting place in the last couple of years than I feel like it has done for a while. So I think there's a lot of really exciting people are moving into new spaces. They're making different sounds. They're working with different instruments. It's all feeling pretty good from where I'm sitting.
Right.
I hope you feel the same. And I think more than I think sometimes the Great Escape doesn't seem too accessible to punters. I think it seems like, as I said earlier, it's a music industry fest. Really, there's a conference to it as well. But I really do recommend. As a punter a few times, and as I briefly said earlier, I think I enjoyed it more as a punter than I do now as someone that has his hand in the industry a little bit, because you just get to wander around and find your new favorite band. You just wander into a venue and we did a show once years ago where we just where these guys just sat in our show. We did our own showcase, our own stage. And these guys just stayed in there all day. They were like, "Oh, we're comfortable here. We're just going to watch what you've got on." And I was like, "I love that." You just sitting in there.
I think rather than chasing the fun, sometimes
you
going,
can
"Do you know
just
what?
do it.
I've got everything I need right here.
Yeah, I'm just going to sit here and let the
fun come to me.
I'm watch it like you would normally do and watch any other gig.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely worth a go. And there's the Alternative Escape, which runs alongside it. I must mention that before we go, because that was when
let's finish on this.
We'll
Because
finish
this is
on
worth
this.
mentioning. I've only been to the Great Escape once, and it wasn't the Great Escape. It was a fringe event that you guys had put on at a pub that's going to remain nameless, I believe.
It's going to remain nameless, and I'll tell you for why.
Tell us why, John.
I'll tell you for why. Because when we were watching it, we put on a great lineup. It was brilliant.
Just think of what we can do, actually. Let's pretend to say the name, and I'll put a big long beep in for comical value.
Okay, yeah.
So go on, John. What happened this night?
You're a bit of a joker, you are. Anyway, we're moving on there. We had this band. We had several bands play for that the whole day. It was brilliant. Great show. While we were there, one of our friends, who shall also remain nameless, took a liking. Allegedly took a liking to the carpet that was in the live room.
It was allegedly there.
Took a liking to this beautiful Persian rug that was in the room, and we'd spent the whole day there. We were drinking, we were having a nice time, and he was like, "No, I keep thinking about this rug. What a lovely rug. That'd look really nice in my living room. I love that look of that rug." And we were like, "All right, mate. Yeah, I mean, you were here to watch the band." He's like, no, I just can't think. He goes, "Do you know what? Fuck it." And then we were all downstairs at this point. He comes down the stairs. He's rolled the rug up and he's got the rug on his shoulder. Walks out, looks at the barman, just says, "See you later, mate." And they go, "Bye." Not expecting that anyone would have stolen the rug from upstairs, allegedly stolen the rug from upstairs. And that was it. We took this rug out for the rest of the Great Escape. We were taking it out, putting it in chairs in pubs and stuff, buying it drinks. And now the rug actually adorns the floor of the live room in our recording studio. Allegedly.
So I think that is a really great message, John, because a piece of advice to anyone attending Great Escape this year, nail down your rugs.
But also there are loads of free events going on alongside the Great Escape. But do get yourself a ticket. It's worth it. Go and get a wristband. Go and see we didn't even mention we mentioned the Kooks.
The Kooks
mentioned the
Kooks.
Or Peaches. So they're the fringe. I'm talking about the fringe shows that I saw when I saw the fringe show which was Foals. This year one of the fringe events is the Kooks on the beach.
One of the great Brighton bands.
One of the great Brighton bands. I forget they're from. Do you want to go to the seaside?
We literally are.
We are. We're going to come and see you.
To the seaside.
Yeah, and so they're playing on one of the fringe events. It's good. I mean, that's going to be great fun. I'm going to have to get down the day early to see that because it's the Wednesday night, I believe. And Peaches is Peaches at Concord 2. I'll have to double check that.
I imagine one of the bigger venues.
Yeah, it's probably Concord 2, which is right down the beach, but probably for the best because that's where they can make as much noise as they like.
Yeah.
So it's going to be another great year, and I think everyone should go and get yourselves a wristband.
I'm excited. Let's get involved. If you're going, let us know what you're going to get up to, who you want to see, who you've got it wrong about. Have we mentioned someone that's actually a bit shit and that we're excited by?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
keep it to yourself. Fuck off, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
This has been great.
Been great. Thank you very much.
I've been William Han. He's been John Harbison.
I have.
That was the Great Escape lineup. And this... Oh, and one ball as well. And one ball's been
one
here as
ball,
well.
one ball's been
This
here.
has
Don't
been
drop
this
her on our face.
album.